Good evening. This is the video newsletter for buysellshort.com for Monday, September 8th. Huge up day on Wall Street today, thanks in part to the takeover of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Big gap open over 300 points on the open today, and then they just dumped everything into it, especially technology stocks. They just unloaded tech stocks. Took the market down pretty good. We got down to around plus 200 on the Dow. Tech stocks went red, and then a rumor floated around that United Airlines was going bankrupt, and the Dow gave up 100 points in a blink. Turned out the rumor was false. A Florida newspaper posted an article that was 2 years old but changed the date on it for some reason. Yeah, I wonder which hedge fund paid for that little fiasco today. People actually sold United Airlines at a penny a share before the stock was halted. And interestingly enough, NASDAQ came out a couple hours later and said that they were not going to bust any trades. Never have I seen that ever in all my years of trading. Pretty much tells you that the NASDAQ market makers benefited from those cheap sells, and NASDAQ wasn't going to bust them for that reason. As is the case always in the market, if the market makers or brokers get hurt, it gets changed. If it's the individual trader, tough luck. You should have known better. Just when you think you've seen everything crooked in the market, stuff like this happens. Dow 15-minute chart, we still have upside potential on it, another couple of 100 points at least. I was pretty negative on the market early on, especially tech stocks. Was not a good sign seeing tech sell off. But like I mentioned mid-morning, I was doing some research, and options expiration is next Friday, the 18th, I believe. And an interesting thing is the SMH, the maximum wipeout point for calls and puts, is $30 a share. That wipeout thing I'm talking about is the price that the highest dollar value of call options and put options expire worthless, which is where the option crooks want stocks to go every month so that they can make the most money. And with the SMH at 26 and that wipeout point at 30, that's like a 15%, 10 to 15% upside on the SMH, which is pretty dramatic. And we're talking the difference between the SMH closing at in the 26s and the 30s of being 50 to 100 million plus dollars for the option crooks. So based on that fact, I mentioned it in the trading alert that was sent out, that I think no matter what, they're going to find an excuse to run the tech stocks over the next few days, led by the SMH. Dell and After Hours reported that Michael Dell bought $100 million in Dell stock. That may be the catalyst. Who knows what the catalyst is? We just know odds are pretty good. They're going to use some sort of excuse to jam the market to make their money. The market is crooked. This is what these crooks do. Dow daily chart, we made it back up into the bearish rising wedge. We still have a chance for 11,800 plus before they come in and dump paper and send us down for our September October market tank. So shorts should be pretty worried here going into tomorrow. They seem to, the doom and gloomers are out in force, but they may be at risk for some losses here near term. SMH got back above 27. Like I said, it was very bearish action today, but based on my thinking for options next week, we should see a move up to the 28 to 29.50 area. Volume was pretty good today. RSI is oversold. Stochastics are oversold, and we had a big spike in on-balance volume, so that's another big positive. Stock plays. CROX was a trading alert 30 minutes before the close at 460. Targets were 480 and 5 plus. Stock hit 509 30 minutes later. Cannot argue with an almost 10% gain in 30 minutes. Just an awesome play. Don't feel bad. Book half games right now. And second target on this one, if it does what I think it does, we're looking at a test of the highs from back in August. So 575 plus, very, very possible here tomorrow. RSI broke above 50 for the first time. ADX is positive. Stochastics look really good. Dips on this one, would be looking to add any dips to the 460s on this one now, but just an awesome winner for us today. LSCC, this is our play on my expectation for a SMH rally for the next few days. Had a big spike today, got as high as 245, our first target from the newsletter yesterday. Retraced back, would look to pick up anything under the 8-day moving average, 234 area. Scalp target, I moved back to 243 to 250, although I think this 50-day moving average is the FM, or if the SMH does what I think it's going to do over the next few days, this should at least see a test. So this is our play on the SMH other than the SMH. IMMU, yeah, broken record, gotta mention it. Volume picked up again today. If it breaks 500K, we're off to the races. 220 is the breakout here. Target remains 245 to 275 here. Last but not least, we have FNSR. Reported earnings and after hours, very good. Reported a profit, beat their numbers. Looks really, really good. The stock sold off heavy over the last week or so. Mentioned in the trading room right after hours to consider adding at a $1.22 area. This one looks good for a test of at least the 38% fib. That's at 135 tomorrow. And we could see a move back to the 200-day moving average at 149. RSI oversold. Stochastics oversold. And, you know, everyone and their mom got shook out here over the last couple of days. And they reported good earnings. So this one looks good for scalps tomorrow. Last but not least, going to mention OPWV again. Symmetrical triangle is just pinching here. 150 should set this one free, and we should be looking at a big upside move when this goes. I'm talking 30% at least to the 200-day moving average. That's a 2. That's a 50-cent upside potential here with a few cents on the downside. RSI has held 50 throughout this consolidation period over the last 2 months. Stochastics look decent, and with FNSR moving in after hours, the optical plays like Open Wave should see some buyers tomorrow. So keep a pretty close eye on this one. It could be a nice mover for us, and should be a nice day tomorrow. CROX, FNSR, and OPWV should be some. Oh, and LSCC. We should have some nice winners for the video tomorrow. So see you guys in the chat room. Good night.